So in this video, I'm going to run you through how to convert 8 out of 10 people into treatment plans. So when I was growing my practice, I realized that if I want my marketing to be effective, if I want my business to grow, if I want to have a full calendar, if I want to make money, I have to be able to convert people into being clients. I can't just rely on them hopefully coming back if I'm good enough at what I do. The very first thing I focused on was the conversion process. And what I realized early on was that if I was not clear on how I was going to solve their problem, and I wasn't clear on the promise that I was making, and I wasn't clear on the process that I was going to take to get people to get a result, no one was going to say yes to me. So I really had to work backwards and go, well, if a client's going to say yes, they're going to say yes because they understand why the thing you're presenting to them is valuable. If I'm going to try and sell you, for example, a laptop, and you don't need a laptop, or you don't understand why you need a laptop, you don't understand the benefits of it, you don't know why a laptop over a desktop computer versus an iPad or a phone, then there's no way for you to be available to even purchase that emotionally because there is no need. So what we have to establish first is a need. Now, sometimes somebody has a need and they just don't know it. And other times they have a need, they know it, but they don't necessarily see that you're going to sort of quench the thirst with what you're offering. So part one in the process to convert more people into being paying patients in treatment plans is to really understand where people are at and their pain points. If you know that client well, then you know how to say and what to say to get them to realize that they should do something about it. People need pain to move them forward, and then they need pleasure to keep them going forward. So part one is understanding their pain. Part two is understanding what we're promising. What's the benefit? What's the outcome that we're going to create? So we start with pain, where are they at? And then we go into our promise that we're making the person. Something that's juicy, something that's desirable, something that makes them feel like I'm willing to get out of bed and go to these appointments and do the work because I really want that thing. That's our promise. Now, that's enough to get them to pique their interest, but to close the deal, so to speak, there has to be a process that feels believable that's going to get them from where they are to where they want to be. And obviously how well you articulate that with them. So what we want to do is we want to say on a piece of paper, write problems and then write promise. So this is where they're at. This is what they're going through. They've got headaches, they're tired, they're stressed, they're grumpy with their kids. They've got postural problems, they've got joint dysfunction, whatever other objective things they have as well. Then you want to go, what am I promising them? I'm going to have them sleep even better, have no more headaches, or their headaches just going to reduce. Like, what's the promise? And then what are the steps it's going to take to get me there? So I've got to think about, well, first and foremost, physiologically, I need to reduce tension. Then I need to improve function in the joints and the muscles. Then I need to prescribe some supplements, whatever it is. If you're doing functional medicine for hormones, what's your process? Get proper lab work done. Start them on a nutritional plan. What's the process, the steps in order to go from where they are with all these problems to the promised land and the benefits? And when you've got those three things in place, now when you go into a conversation with a client, you can easily say, hey, John, I understand this is what's going on with you. And you're able to tell them about their lives in a way that makes them realize that, you know what, this person knows what I'm going through. They understand and they're trustworthy and I should probably listen to them. Then when I say, and what we're going to be able to help you to do is get XYZ result, the promise you make, the person, if you know them, will look at it and go, that's exactly what I want. If you've ever had the experience like I have where you're talking to a client and you say, oh, I'm going to get you these results, and they just go, okay. That's where you've missed the mark because you haven't understood where they are and what they really want. Whereas if you've ever had the experience where you've said to somebody, this is what I'm going to do with you, and they go, oh my gosh, yes, please, I want this. That's the difference between knowing who your client is and how you need to communicate with them. So we've got to be very, very certain that this is exactly the right situation. When we do that, we've stretched the gap and a person says, I understand that I need to do some stuff to get there. I understand that what I was doing is not going to work. The other things I'm looking at is not going to work. And then when you present your solution, your process, suddenly they go, this makes sense. I need this to go from here to there. It's like, and I've said this before if you're watching my videos, it's like if I said, do you want to go to Fiji, right? And you think you can ride a bicycle to Fiji. Well, the problem is if there's an ocean in between, unless I can get you to understand that there's an ocean and that catching a boat is going to be uncomfortable and expensive, therefore you must get a plane, you're not going to be able to buy my process, which is a plane ticket to Fiji, because you believe that you can ride a bicycle there or you believe that a boat will be fine. So my job is to understand where you are, literally, figuratively, metaphorically, right? Like you're in the US, but you're also stressed out and you want to have a nice holiday. What do you want? I want to feel relaxed. I want to have a good time. I want to be with my friends and family, and I want it to be simple and easy. So the solution of getting a boat to Fiji is not simple and easy. It's going to take a long time. So by knowing this, I can then strategically say, based on what you're telling me, here's what I can promise you, and here's how we're going to do it. And when you present that plane ticket, they say, this is exactly what I want and what I need, and they say yes. Because when you're talking to what I'd call a prospect, somebody who's not a client yet, you have to realize that there's kind of three things to consider in any sales process. How in need is the person that you're talking to? How good is the thing that you're offering? And then how persuasive are you? If you're talking to somebody who doesn't really need or doesn't perceive a need for any kind of solution, let alone your solution, you have to have a really, really good offer. I'll give you a Ferrari and a trip to Hawaii. Please be a massage client of mine, right? Like you have to have a really, really good offer. And often that's impractical. If you're talking to somebody who's got a need, but your offer is poor, then you have to be really persuasive to convince them to do something. And if you have neither a good offer nor a hungry market, you have to be an absolute sales wizard. No one should be doing that. You should be talking to people who have a need. You accentuate and help them realize the need. You present a good offer. And the level of sales and salesiness, persuasion that needs to be there should be very, very small. People should be saying yes just based off of the process that I just went through with you. If you understand them, you make them a really good promise that makes sense to them, something you can achieve, and you've got a really step-by-step process to get them there. They have clarity, they understand what's going on, why they need you, how you're going to get them a result. At that point, the person's already saying yes, and then it just becomes about logistics. Can I afford the time, the effort, and the money to go after this result? So if you've ever experienced objections with people saying, I can't afford it, etc., etc., probably what's going on is there isn't a big enough need, or they don't perceive your process as valuable. And so they're throwing up the objection of price when in fact they have the money, they just don't want to prioritize it. So I hope that you go and take this concept. If you want to get a framework document that we've created for this, just comment framework below and our team will reach out and get that document across to you. Go through this, and the next time you have a new patient visit, you'll be surprised by the level of conversion that you'll get and how much more profitable your marketing will be and how much more busy your practice will be. So if you enjoyed this, I'll put a link in the comments where you can go and check out more of our content and comment framework if you want the document, and I'll get it sent over to you. Take care. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you're serious about growing your healthcare business, then check out these other couple videos that we've got here for you, and make sure that you hit the like button, leave us a comment and subscribe. And I've gone ahead and created some special bonuses for you. So check the description of this video for those links, and I will see you in the next video.